Outer Orange. The dragon never forgets. Welcome back, everybody. Yay. We're gonna be talking about dragon today. Oh yeah, some exciting stuff here. Let's go ahead and open up my deck list. So dragon is one of my favorite decks right now. It's just fast. I've been playing so much Haven that I got tired of the super long games. So today I'm going to show you guys dragon. I believe I can share via this. So here's the dragon list I've been primarily using. Here's the code if you need it. You guys can scan this actually directly from wherever you're watching this from. Preferably not your phone, because obviously you would need your phone to scan it. But anyway, long story short, this is the dragon list I've been using. It's really good for some early grinding. If you just want to like speed run early grinding, this is a perfect deck to be on because you can just speed run. You'll notice I actually only have two Garyu. You can actually even cut this out. You don't necessarily need the third. You actually don't need this card at all. You can actually run higher copies of like Genesis Dragon if you really need to cut back somewhere. I would recommend the Forte and the Olivia though. They're absolutely cracked. But this is a ramp aggro version where basically we just want to ramp as fast as possible and then also just blow up our opponent as fast as possible. You notice we have a lot of these early cards that basically let us answer our opponent's boards and all that kind of fun stuff. I do recommend the Divine Shot, I think it's called. I don't know, it's some kind of, it's like a 4-drop spell, looks like a dragon. It's really useful. Divine Thunder, it's called Divine Thunder. I recommend that as well to kind of help with some aggro boards. I run the Apollo, obviously. I genuinely don't think you can get away with playing ladder without this card in your deck because it's just so impactful for some early aggro. But anyway, this is basically the deck. Like I said, it's very simple. You just basically call on guys and then you just kind of play the game. I also want to mention the Otohime. Otohime basically brings out a 2/2 storm with ward on it. So it's really perfect if you open this on a curve and you might be thinking like, oh, you have to discard a card. You can just discard copies of this card or cards you just don't need. You'll usually be fine. I will say into grindier matchups you'll start losing, but that's basically really it. It's not that bad. You just have to be careful how you want to use it. You're not always going to be on this card. It's just a really good finisher because that's storm on it too. You can also evolve this and like mega evolve it and kind of chill. And then I want to mention Olivia real quick. This card's absolutely cracked, especially because dragon has access to intimidate, which is something where your opponents can't swing into certain cards. So you can play Olivia and then evolve something with her that has intimidate on it, and then guess what, now they just literally can't out the card with intimidate on it, and they'll usually lose off of it. So this is a really important card. Also the heal and the draw and the recover 2 play points is massive, especially since we're ramping, so you'll actually be able to access to, so you have access to some cards a little bit faster. You might drop her on 7, but you might be dropping her on like 9, so you'll be getting like a lot more play points to work with in case you want to ramp even further. You want to add another card to the board. Another really good useful card is obviously the Li Fang. She's just nuts. Card's absolutely cracked. Lets you evolve for free after a certain point, so she can just like rush into his bodies and just clear them. And long story short, this is a very fast deck. I will say the higher you get on ladder, the harder it'll be to play a deck like this. People will be more cautious. They'll start dropping wards. But if you're like a new player and you just happen to you open a bunch of dragon stuff, or if you're just literally just wanting to play fast because this is a very fast deck, your games will end like really quickly. Then you're basically, this is the perfect deck for you. You can obviously change it up. I'm sure there's stuff you can add to kind of deal with certain matchups a little bit better. I just have it like this, but you can change it up. This is a really easy deck to flex in, flex out as well. I'll show you guys one more. I do have another version. This one is like even more aggressive. Like there's also this version, so let me go ahead and show you guys this one too. So this is another version of dragon. This one isn't ramping. This one's just pure just aggro with burn. Basically, the point of this deck is it's kind of similar, but you have this little bit of aggression with the shark guy, and he also deals 6 to leader, so sometimes you can just close out games by just dropping him on 8. This doesn't have ramp though, so this is a unramped deck. This is just pure, like you're playing with the high cost and you're not ramping, so it's a little bit different, but it also kind of fulfills the same goal. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys some gameplay. I'm actually going to show you guys gameplay that I already have looked at, like these games I already played just because they're really fast and they're easy probably to commentate over. You guys will notice I kind of went on a little win streak with the dragon the other day, so you'll notice I dropped like super hard. Like my rank like dipped so bad. Like I mean, I've been doing fine, but it's just I played a lot of default decks that got screwed me over. Anyways, like here is what we're starting out with. I decided to set back all our big dudes and kind of keep with our smaller dudes here, which is very perfectly valid, something you want to do. It's definitely how you want to play this out. Anyway, so into fairies, you usually want to be a little bit cautious of like their board. I did have the Apollo just in case. I start with the Heme, which was a really good start. I sometimes hold on to the extra play point for going second for the ramp, actually. But I didn't open it here, but that's fine. So here I decided to start making bodies. They didn't show me fairies early, which is a really good site for me to start dropping bodies, because fairies usually clear these, but they didn't have any fairies yet. So I just started just whacking them in and just started dropping even more bodies that they had to answer. And they weren't really doing much. They actually were really struggling. I could tell that they were kind of bricking a little bit here. You'll notice here's the fairy, so they're actually going to start outing our board just a little bit since they have rush on them, which is perfectly fine. That's how you want to do this. And then back to me, I believe here I just go into a dragon side turn and I evolve. Like, there's really no reason not to ramp here. I had no like fear, so yeah, we just ramp. And actually I picked the bell ringer too. Damn. I didn't even realize I did that, but yeah, the bell ringer is perfectly fine too. Anyway, so there you have to clear the board. Obviously they have to answer all this. The Eve is really good here. They can evolve it and kind of clear the intimidate card. That's just really good for them, so which is what they do here, which is really a really good response. Actually, they responded pretty well, but they're getting kind of low on on their health here. So here we drop we're probably gonna drop the we drop the Apollo here, and then just evolve him to clear the Eve. And I think I just drop, like, I think I ramp again. Yeah, I do ramp again. Oh my gosh, that is so nasty. Oh, the ramp is crazy. So here they drop the Aria to start applying some kind of pressure, which is valid. They actually evolve her and I think swing into my Apollo, which was kind of interesting. And I think they just pass here because I think it was like their only outs. And now it's my turn. We have the Quick which is a good future card, basically. So here we just out the card, and then we're just debating what we want to do. Oh yeah, here I discard for the Hime and evolve it, and actually I super evolve it and swing in, which is fine. We're basically putting them on a timer. They're at 8, and they have to clear 5/5 on top of that, so they have to do a lot. So they drop this guy, who's pretty good. He actually does a lot of little poking damage onto the board. And then here he is evolving it, and then basically just telling me, hey, figure it out. And then I just drop the gen, and then I just go gen jack for game, basically, because he just instantly just closes out, which is kind of wild that I top deck that, I'm not gonna lie. So that's how fast your games will usually go. You'll notice that game was like about 5 minutes long. Really wasn't that long. It was not a long game. So you're just starting to understand how fast things can close out. If your opponent just doesn't drop a ward, they can just randomly lose. So I'll show you guys a mirror just to see how that works. And I'm showing you guys more of the win games just because I think the losses were just me bricking or something. I don't really remember. To be honest with you, I played so many one night. It was just kind of like I just kept going and going and going, and then like 2 hours passed, I was still going. So here's a mirror. So we opened up pretty decently into the mirror. This is a pretty good opening hand, I would say. We have the Hime, we got the ramp, we got a curve. We're going first too, so we just have basically ways to out the opponent's board here pretty easily. They do start off really strong. This is a really good play on their end. I think this is a really good starting point. So we did get the Searing here, which is really good for us. We can clear the Intimidate card and still be able to answer the other card later on if we need to. We also have our own 2-drop as well to kind of start applying some pressure. And I just decided to just do the same thing. Like, they out of my board early, and I was like, okay, well, I can't really do anything else, right? So I just said screw it. They have the Apollo, which is really good. Apollo clears boards like that. So I was actually kind of on the back burner here. I was kind of thinking like, man, what do I do? Like, this kind of sucks. So I cleared the Apollo first just because I didn't want them evolving, getting like pressure off of it. So Apollo evolves, does the same thing, and I just didn't want that happening. So they dropped the same freaking card against me, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I guess we got to start ramping. So because we got nothing else to really do. So let's just start ramping and get the free value off the ramp, because they actually weren't ramping this entire time, you'll notice, which is good for us. And it means that because if they were ramping on top of everything else they were doing, we probably would have been losing even harder. They run the Detective, which I thought was an interesting a little interesting option. So here I drop another just to really ramp, because why not? She's free now, so she just evolves for free, so we just get a lot of value out of her. And now it's time to drop the Hime. You always want to drop her when you have access to drop it, but you kind of want to like present a board and then also drop it. It is 3 mana, so you gotta be cautious how you want to use it. So here they have a super evolve. They can go take Olivia or this guy. They have a lot of options too, honestly. And we're not like anywhere near killing them yet, so this was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty scared here. I was kind of like, oh, what do I do? I think here I just went for the clear because Fledgling is such a disgusting card. It just clears anything for 2 mana, or sorry, 4 mana. And then I evolved the Intimidate card here. It just swung face. Like, you have to, and I was just kind of praying that they just didn't have a way to out all this. like because you know, like they're intimidate cards, so you can't swing into them. So I was just kind of hoping that they just didn't have like the spell or something to clear these cards. That was basically my hope here. Okay, so it looks like he's dropping bodies, and I guess his thought was like, I hope she doesn't have the out, but guess what? We have the out, so we just have lethal here. Even though they had such insane tempo, like I think I BM'd a little bit there. Yeah, I did BM a little bit there. I didn't have to evolve that, but I did anyway. I think this was a mirror, I had to do it. But you'll notice they had the tempo that entire time, and I mean like they literally had tempo the entire time. They were clearing my board, they were perfectly fine, and then they just like randomly lost. I will say I think they had the they didn't have the Otahime. So they didn't have Otahime, that probably would have helped them a little bit there. But yeah, if they had a way to drop a ward, I definitely would have lost there, as you can tell. But they didn't have the ward to drop. They only had 2 cards in hand as well, so they probably didn't have much to work with. And I didn't have my bell ringer. It's down to 1 card, by the way. And so yeah, I just got to answer there. So if they dropped a ward, probably would have had 1 more turn, maybe 2. But yeah, that's basically how that went. All right, here's a rune game. Am I back in? Okay, I think I can't tell if I'm back in Topaz or not. I don't know. I haven't been playing the last 2 days. Anyway, so here's another game. This is against Rune, and we opened up a lot of high end here. We didn't want that much high end, and then we got the Otahime and the spell, which is actually perfect. It lets us out some of those golems early on. And we also went first again, so we're just dropping Otahime here, just for preparation. And this matchup is a little scary because they can drop the Anangrea and then you kind of get screwed by it. So this can be like a really tough matchup. So here I'm basically just clearing the card. I just don't want to take any early damage because once they start Kuaning, I just lose. FYI, you just lose if they Kuan under this kind of deck because you just don't have a way to out it. So just FYI, yeah, definitely play Divine Thunder. It helps a lot. Or any form of like board clear, you definitely need it. So here I'm just getting some free damage in and I basically get the Behemoth out. I just dropped, I think, an Olivia for something else. I dropped something else for. So I'm basically just setting up now to start just aggroing the hell. And they actually passed here, which was wild, by the way. So here we go in and we're basically just gonna ramp for free. We got a lot of value out of this. Them passing was a huge L on their end. So because next turn we can actually go into Olivia, but we actually can't use Olivia, but we can still draw 2 and recover some health if we need to. So here's the Anangrea play, which is valid. Anangrea is really, really strong, and it makes it really hard for me to clear, but because they had to swing, it actually helped me a lot. It means I only had to answer literally the Anangrea, and I drew the perfect card. I drew the strike here. So here I am just drawing some cards, and then I just strike to clear the Anangrea since the golem disappears. Sometimes people forget this, including myself. The golem that spawns, it goes away. So you don't actually have to answer, you just have to answer the Anangrea. So here they have the little spell boost girl, and you'll notice she's really low. They have not been able to spell boost here. So here we have Olivia. This time we actually can super evolve with her. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to pick the Intimidate card. Like I say, you always want to pick the Intimidate card as much as possible. It's either that or Bellringer usually. Ideally, the Intimidate card is usually just better just because it's free damage, and then they also can't deal with it. So here we are setting up for basically lethal since we do have the Gen Drag in our hand as well. They basically have to ward up here. They just auto lose, or they have to drop a Kuan or something to clear. Or answer the board. They don't drop anything, so we have the Forte, we have the Gen Drag, we just kind of close out here, we don't even do anything, we just swing on in. And this time I didn't BM. I didn't BM this time. So yeah, that's just I think that's enough game footage to kind of give you guys an idea of sort of what this deck's capable of. Like I said, it's really fast. You just basically close out games. It does definitely deal with less experienced players better. The players that are more experienced will definitely not perform as well on this deck won't perform as well under those type of stuff. Anyways, that's basically the deck. I just want to showcase a fast deck, and it's actually not too pricey. Some of the cards in here you're going to be using in other decks anyway, like the Olivia is a good example. Really insane card in like most decks right now. The Cactus is also a really played card in most decks right now, and then a Forte is obviously not, but Forte, if you continue playing Dragon, will probably be around in most of your decks for a while. So most of the cards, if you do invest into this kind of deck, will be coming back like to help you in the future. The Dragon Sign along with the Refang are also going to stick around. Like most of these cards in here you'll probably see again, so you'll probably see in your future deck list. I really doubt they're going to be super power crept out. I don't know how drastic the next set's going to be, but I don't expect to see a lot of these cards to go away. So if you do choose to invest into Dragon, I think this is a really good starting point. I will say I am not a Dragon expert, and I'll tell you guys right now, I definitely monkey brain the hell out of this deck. I swing big, I swing face, I win game. That's how I treat this deck. So I'm sure there's better ways and more optimal ways to play it, but I want to show you guys this version. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was a nice break from constantly using my brain on ladder. So if you also just want that kind of break, I think this is a very perfect fit for all that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. It was a little bit of just some more funsy, just want to showcase a deck real quick to you guys of what you can do with like some really fun, goofy stuff while also playing ranked. Like I'll tell you guys right now, for 3 hours straight, I had a blast just blowing people apart. 50 cards that shop for the of the physical card games. If you're into any physical card games, you can use 50 cards that shop to save you some money on there. Also, BCW supplies the code orange. It's orange 10 on that. If you're into like anything physical, basically, there's a bunch of supplies for that as well. You can check that out. Thank you as always. Please like, subscribe if you like this kind of content. You want to see more of it. I do a lot of Shadowverse. I also do a lot of other card game related content as well, on top of a bunch of shorts. So check all that out. Other than that, guys, peace out. That's for that. I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.